Hi. Girl, I got the fan on full blast. It's hot in her. I haven't worn one of these in a long time, so girl, it's hot in her. I'm going to let everybody come into the room. If you are not watching this live, please check down below. Hopefully I remember to put this timestamp on it, but I apologize if I don't. I eventually will, just like forward through. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share on any social media platform that you deem fit. And okay, maybe because I have the fan on, I should find my mic. Yeah, I should do that for you guys. I feel bad. I feel bad. Hi, Mickey. Is the fan really loud, Mickey? Is it like, listen. You hear the difference? Hi, Mika. Is it bad? I need it on. It's hot. Hot, 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 hot. It's like the weather changed and my like cooling system, air conditioning, heating system is on, like it kicks on if it's, I don't know, it's too high, like 78, then it's on. I'm like, no. My dad's like, what's wrong with that? I was like, no, it cannot be 78. So every night I sleep with the window open just so I don't wake up like in a cold sweat at night. And in this room, the vent is right here. Again, it's hot. Sorry, I'm fixing my pictures. So I'm gonna look at your comments right now. It's a light sound, not distracting. Okay, thank you. Okay, good to know. So I'm gonna let everybody come into the room, get settled in, give the video a thumbs up, and we are going to start talking in a few minutes. I want to give everybody an opportunity to get into the room. I am moving around the pictures so that they can be in order in the grouping, not that they appeared on screen, but of the segments. So, for example, I'm moving all of Sarah and Sean's pictures, screenshots, in chronological order so that they're all together. Yo, Sean, again, I don't understand if Sean is understanding that he is a villain. And if he is fully aware, like Stan doesn't know he's a villain, right? Stan thinks that he is right and that he's just trying to deal with a crazy woman. And that's because I think of his, like, he's like a boomer. And so, like, you know, that generation was taught that if a woman is upset, then part of it is just like womanly hormones. And so it's his job to just kind of acquiesce if he wants to get some poom poom later. Like, he's in that generation where it's like, can't make my wife mad or she won't have sex with me. And so he's gonna the whole time be like, it's okay, baby. And then when he's fed up and can't deal with it anymore and blows up and says something hurtful or inappropriate, he's more so like, well, if she hadn't said that, then I wouldn't have behaved that way. But I'm gonna apologize because I want poom poom. He's like that. Hey, baby, give me a hug. I'm just like, what? We're in an absolute fight because you are 100% a liar. Well, I pay the bills around here. I don't understand why you're upset. You don't want for anything. I give you all this money. It's like, what does that have to do with anything? Just because you choose to give me money doesn't mean that you are absolved of any wrongdoing if I ever call it out. Do you get what I'm saying? Shannon Van. Hello. Shannon Van had so much secondhand embarrassment this episode. Hi, Talina. Hello. Thank you, Yazelle. Like him having his, oh my God. That secondhand embarrassment of him rock climbing or him sunbathing with socks on. Listen, I don't know much about sunbathing or tanning or whatever, but I'm going to go on ahead and assume that one should take one's socks off. Is that not a correct assumption on my part? Oof, trying to get my Marcelino pics all together. Okay. Renata, okay. Sunbathing, hot tub. John, no. Brittany. Let's move this up here to be after Marcelino and Brittany. Brittany's mother. Another Brittany's mother pic. Another pic of Brittany and her computer. Hi, LaDonna. Hi, Queen Francine. Hi, Toya from Harlem. Hi, Wah. Your episode comes out on Friday. I will email you more details in the week. Yes, please email me because, just so you know, Toya, next week I will be on East Coast time. So I won't be, I will not be on the West Coast. Estivali. Hello. I'm glad you made it. Or is it Estivali? Is it Estivali or Estivali? Anyways, it's beautiful. Yes, Karen, we're just getting started. I'm organizing the pictures right now. Okay, bundle for that East Coast weather. Oh, yes, girl, I am 100%. So let me tell you how I'm doing it with layers. Okay, let me also tell you that I went to Old Navy for the first time in easily 7-8 years, if not more, because I don't think I stepped into an Old Navy when I was in New York either. So I'm going to say I went into an Old Navy with a friend because she was shopping in there and I was just like meeting her there. But that was 5 years ago. So I went into Old Navy. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Raven. I went into it's still 78 to 85 degrees here on the East Coast. And also, I don't own any jeans that fit me because I've gained so much weight. So I just have been wearing sweats and joggers and dresses for the last year and a half. So your girl needed some jeans. I forgot to pack my dresses, like my warm dresses. Okay, I'll remember that. Let me just pull one out so I remember. Hold on. Not that I have any need for them. I don't plan on going to dinner because I'll be mainly by myself and I don't want to spend too much money doing nonsense. We had to cut the heat on because it was 47 last night. Yeah, no, I'm going to be north too. I'll be in Montreal. So when I went to Toronto for my 31st birthday, which was 8 years ago. And it was brick city. Like, it was cold. I was really shocked. I took my fall clothes and it was colder in Toronto, obviously, than it was in New York because it's north. And I think maybe get some like Great Lakes winds or something. I do not know. But it was cold. So I'm like, Montreal is like by a river. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to be really, I'm rubbing my lips together. Let me tell you why. I know it's annoying, but I put on chapstick today and I didn't know how dry my lips were But I put the chapstick on and I was like, it's not chapstick, it's bag balm. I put bag balm on my lips and I was rubbing my lips together, and that friction, because my bottom lip was so dry and the skin is like peeling, it was like, I felt it was so hard up here. It was like, it felt like, and I was like, oh, she is dry. And Stan is such a misogynist. Like, he gets on my nerves, bro. He is a full-blown, full-grown misogynist. Unabashed, just like poo-poo. Oh, I didn't take not one shot of Lacey. I have pictures of John, though, and Julie. It's interesting because both Lacey and Brittany were wearing, and Black Brittany were wearing like satin short robes. And I'm like, who are these women who are walking around in satin robes? It's never me. Like, I mean, I do have that kimono that I walk around like the hotel in. So I guess maybe, I don't know. It was just like, I have a kimono that's satin. Okay, let me be quiet because I do. Hi, Monica. Hi, Joseph. Hi, Yazelle. Did I already say Yazelle? Hello. Stella, hello. Welcome. Indy, welcome. Jen, welcome. How many people are in this room? 48. Okay, we're almost there. I haven't missed any Brittany or Sean slander. Which Brittany are you talking about, Stella? Because I think there's Brittany and there's Brittany. I love a nice silk robe, especially after I body exfoliate. I have never felt it on bare skin. Have I? I'll have to try that at the hotel. I gotta remember to take my scrub. Oh, I got so much stuff to take. I've already filled up one gigantic suitcase, and now I have a carry-on and a smaller carry-on. Those are so many carry-ons. They're not being carried on. One of my carry-ons is being checked in. But that's the bag. Like, does anyone just have like a bag that's just for toiletry? Just for your lotions, your makeup, your jewelry, yeah, those things. I'm taking some sanitary wipes. I'm taking like, full lotions, full body wash, because I don't want to have to go there and buy anything. And I already bought it, so like, why waste money on it? It was annoying. Oh, anyways, let me tell you about Old Navy. So I went to Old Navy and I got a bunch of layers. Like, I got some long sleeves, and I'm really awkward because I don't know how to dress for this weight gain. And so I'm like, I don't know if I'm a size 12 or a size 14. So I try on the size 14 and I'm like, oh my God, I feel comfortable in these. And then I'm like, okay, let me try this 12. I put the 12 on and they're fine. But then I was like, okay, I need to get a 14 because I'm going to have to put like leggings underneath. So then I bought some leggings and I was like, oh, these leggings are too thick. And then so it was just like back and forth. So I was like, you know what? Taking the leggings back. I'm just going to do some opaque tights. And then I'll take this pair of leggings. They're super thin leggings. I'll take these and then double that. And then I was like, you're not even going to be walking around. Like, I'm going to have a car. So I don't know why I'm like, why I'm stressed. I'm not walking around. This ain't New York. I'll be in a car. I don't need to worry about leggings. So I took the leggings, all of the leggings back, except for the ones that I opened. I took back, I went and bought a bunch of stuff, right? The total was like $350 or something. And then they're like, do you want a store card? And I was like, do I get a percentage off? And she was like, yes, 20%. And I was like, yes, sign me up. So did the store card. It took me down to like $290 something. And then she's like, tomorrow we have a 50% off sale for people that are card holders. Just come back tomorrow and exchange this all, and you'll go down even more. And I was like, bet. So went back the next day, which was Friday. I bought this all on Thursday. Then went back on Friday, returned it all, and repurchased it all. The total came up to $163. So I went from $350, got the charge card, went down to $290 something, and then went back and got 50% off and went down to $163. So then I was like, well, I can get the sweater that I wanted to get, and I can get X, Y, and Z. So I went and got X, Y, and Z, and I spent another $70. And then I got home and truly tried everything on and made some edits and some cuts and took some stuff, and then was like, okay, I'm taking this back and this back and this back. I'm exchanging this, and I'll look for another pair of pants to see if they have it, because I needed 3 pairs of jeans at least, because at that point, I was like, I have tried everything on. There was only one pair that I liked. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and get the one pair that I like in 2 other colors, like a darker wash and a black. So I went back in there today for the 3rd day in a row, and I wanted one side, they ended up giving me money back, and I walked out with 2 pairs of jeans. So I returned items, bought 2 pairs of jeans, and with that exchange, they ended up giving me back $2 and some odd cents back to my card. And so I'm like, oh, so basically when Old Navy has a 50% off sale, that's when you go in there and purchase things. So I got so many clothes for $230. It probably ended up. It's great. I mean, and $230 may seem like a lot, but when you don't have any jeans and any long sleeve shirts and any camis and tank tops to go underneath things, that was a steal for $250. A steal. I have, is it 3 or 4? 3 jeans. Yeah, because one's in the washer, one's in the dryer, one's hanging up. I got, 4 jeans. There's one packed. I got 4 jeans. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 long sleeve shirts. I have 2 black tanks, 1 gray, 1 a gold color, and then a brown. And then I got 1 pair of leggings. And then I have a sweater, a thick knit sweater. And I have a flannel shirt and one other, and 4 tunic tops. You'll see it. If you follow me on any of the social medias, I'm going to be taking pictures, because my outfit to fly in is fly. Okay? It's cute. But you'll just look at the tunic top I have. I have bought 3 or 4 of them, and they basically fit me like a dress. So they can double as a top with a legging underneath, or a comfy dress, long sleeve dress. Here it comes. Little animal. All for $250. Wow, the American dollar is worth way more right now in Canadian dollars. What? I thought the Canadian dollar was stronger than the American dollar. Cancel that card when you're done shipping. They will switch to Barclays Bank, and I know people who work there. It's a poorly run bank. Oh, okay, great. I will. Ooh, the American dollar buys $1.5. I didn't know that. I thought that it was oh, that's great. Oh, that makes me feel so much better, because in my mind it was this weak ass American dollar. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. At some point, the Canadian dollar was higher. I think for my birthday when I went there, it was I was at a deficit. So, well, that's crazy. I thought it was. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm not realizing. I don't know. I thought the Canadian dollar was more. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. But yeah, so anyways, that's a lot of clothes. That is a lot of clothes for 200 and something. Weak ass Canadian dollar. I thought it was a weak ass American dollar. For real, I did. Okay. Shannon Van. Oh my God, there's three Canucks in the room. Is Canuck okay to say? Is Canuck okay? Also, is Quebecois okay to say? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I learn words and I don't know if it's okay. $1.05 about when you came. Huh, interesting. Okay, good. These are all good to say. Wow, you're going to do so much better up here money-wise, but things are more expensive, so I think it sort of washes. Yeah, I'm told that things are more expensive. So, okay. We're about 20 minutes in. We'll get started in a couple seconds. Thanks for talking that through with me. Yes, you're right. But Canuck is pronounced with a new Kunuk? Kunuk? Not Canuck? Quebecois. 14 pairs of jeans, girl. I own one. The other ones, I mean two, but like I don't like feeling squished into anything. Oh, Canuck. Oh, okay. Canuck. Oh, okay. I don't like feeling constricted in anything. I mean, I already feel my weight, and so then to have like clothes like I don't like it. I think the only questionable Canadian term is that word, which I don't want to say it if it's questionable. Oh, thank God. Jasmine is here. We can get started. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love After Life After Girl. Oh, Jasmine is here. We can get started. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Life After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 55, Confessions of a Liar! Thank you guys so much for being here and watching my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share on any social media platform that you deem fit. And let's jump right into the episode. So the first couple that we are going to talk about is Sean and Lacey. Sean. I don't have any pictures of them, but you know what they look like. John. So Lacey is in her house in a short black satin robe, and Sean is outside looking at barbecue grill, I think. I don't know where the kids are, but Lacey just wants to make sure that Shane is somewhere where she could have a private conversation with Sean, because she needs to talk to him, because he's the only person she can talk to and understand. And things are really concerning. She's worried about Shane's endeavors with his online aptituding, because he's talking to men and sending pictures and pretending to be gay. Lacey used the word endeavors incorrectly, and I forgot to say it last episode, but she did it again this episode, so I brought it up. She's like, I'm not sure of his endeavors. I'm like, you're not sure of his, like, tries? Like, what? You mean you're not sure of his actions, you're not sure of his motives, you're not sure of his behavior? Like, girl, don't be using words you may not know the meaning to. Okay. So anyways, she's in a black satin robe. She closes the bedroom door, makes sure that Shane is not going to see her. And she goes in in her bedroom, and then like hangs out in the door frame to the bathroom. And she's just like, has one leg cocked up, and she calls him and she's like, hello. And he's like, what's up? Okay, here's the truth. This is just because you are you and I am me, and I feel like we're close and I feel like we're friends. John's voice is really sexy. I said it, fight me, okay? If you don't agree with it, you can put like the punching emoji in the chat right now, but John's voice is sexy. I said it. Come on. We can fight about it. We can fight about it. So John picks up the phone. He's like, and so I'm listening to him talk because I watched it back twice so I could take pictures. And I was like, if I were Julie, I would not know that he was talking to a female. The way he just was like, yeah, what's up? And she's like, John. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, you guys. Yeah, just his voice. Yes, just his voice. Nikki Starr thinks Shane is hot. I'm not going to say she's wrong. I'm not going to say that he's hot because I've seen hotter, like, blue collar white men. I dated one and he had a Boston accent and he was a bricklayer. Girl, that like natural, like working on the railroad body, okay? Something to be said for that. And he was like, had that Boston accent. Girl, I smelled racism all up in his past. But there was something about him that was just so masculine and the way he would look down on me. So listen, I'm not saying that Shane is ugly, but I'm saying that like I could see, like I don't think he's fine or hot, but I mean, I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. Did someone say that's a no for me, dog? Who said that? Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. Yo, that's my type. No, not John. The guy I dated was hot. No, I don't remember Scotty. Thanks. We don't want to remember. This is not the space to talk about Scotty, Mickey. Thank you. Jeez Louise. Not we're working on the railroad. But you know what I'm saying? Like a man who legitimately does, like the man picks up bricks every day. You know what I'm saying? He's like legitimately working out every day as his regular job. Whew. Anyways, so okay, let's get back to it. So yeah, John's voice really does it for me. Every time he's like, I can't even quit. Like, I can't even mimic it because it just like, it is like, it's enough of a dip and like a soulfulness, but also like a little bit of a West Coast, like East Coast Southern twang, but not too much, not as much as Shane. That's why John keeps calling Shane a country boy. But then like also you had to remember that he's a stone cold heroin addict. So then you just kind of goes away. But he got a little girth on him these days. Okay. It's not bricklayer girth. It's not toned girth, but you could tell he's happy and he's healthy. And at this moment, he says that he did put up those boundaries. Somebody just put up a comment saying that they really liked, I'm sorry, I didn't get to who it was, but they really liked the boundaries that he's putting up. And I agree with you. So anyways, this is a picture of Julie. They all up in the bed together. He gets up and he goes downstairs and like starts to talk to Lacey. Then he goes outside. And then she's like, he like started leaving me at the house for like 10 hours a day. And then, then she's like, and then we went to get a metal detector. No, what's that thing called? Liar detector. And he showed strong deception. And she's telling him all this stuff. And he's like, well, I really can't get all into this with you. Julie's upstairs and she's really been down for me and she's waiting on me. And if he ever puts hands on you, like 100% I'll be there. But otherwise, there's really nothing that I can do. And I said, yes, John. Even though Lacey is hard to get over because you do love her, she's not good for your sobriety. And I don't know that she makes him do drugs. Like, I don't think that. But like, I think when anybody's trying to move forward in their life, looking backwards is not always the best. And this is somebody who looks backwards all the time. So I'm saying this, I know it's not the best, but it's so easy and it's so comfortable to look back. And whew, Girl, you ain't lying. I told you I feel like there was a lot of racism in the past. I feel like I was the only and first black girl he's ever been with. But the way, I mean, the swag came at me so hard that I was just like, okay. He even taught me a term called parboil. He was like, yeah, we just make asparagus and it's parboil. And I was like, what the is parboil? And he cooked dinner for me. So like, okay, girl. It was a good time. It was a good time. It was a New York City good time. It was a moment. It happened. It was good. And so anyways, like I just am happy that he stood his ground and that Lacey felt stupid afterwards because she was like, yeah, you know, if he ever lays hands on you, is calling me. This rude individual is calling me and I'm fully live. I'm live. Okay, bye. Oh, God bless. Okay. I love you. Bye. Africans parboil rice. Yeah, I never heard of it until he said it to me, but he was like parboil. And I was like, what is parboil? But anyways, that's it for them. Lacey ends up like, after she hangs up with him, she's like, okay, bye. And then she hangs up and she like face plants into the bed because she probably expected more from him. But like, girl, he didn't give it to her. And I really do like the fact, putting my phone on do not disturb. I really do like the fact that he did that. Also, if you guys would like to donate, give a tip for these laughs that you're getting, you can do so down below. Those are the apps. You can do Venmo, you can do PayPal, you can do Zelle, you know, all those things. If you wanna, you don't have to, but just reminding you that it's there. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm bringing up my notes. I realized that I just did this whole thing off the cuff when there might be so many things I'm missing. Let me get to them. Lacey. Oh, they played some really like, I don't know if it was R&B. I looked up the artist. This is like Laura Archer. They played some song at the beginning of Lacey's segment. It felt like an R&B. It's called like something strangers. Hold on, let me find it. I looked it up because I really liked it. And then I was like, why are they playing R&B for Lacey's segment? Like, why don't they play country music? Felt Like a Stranger by Lauren Archer, Rob Cass, and Joseph somebody or other. And I was like, oh, this just is like when Europeans do R&B. Like sometimes the Danish do R&B and they do it so well and you don't know they're not black. And then you go and you're like, oh. There's a group called Quadron, and it's like, I'm into it. Their second album, I'm into it. Self-titled, okay. Anyways, but I was like, yeah, why aren't they using some other, like, I don't know. It just goes to show you that sometimes when I hear hip hop or R&B in like media, I go, that's black people music. Why isn't there more country on TV or hard rock? Like, why don't they do those songs more often? Why do they put hip hop to almost everything or R&B to a lot of things? Anyway, you guys are really having a conversation about parboil. Roshana, yes, I know. I was waiting for another album. I'm like, where? And then I was like, they must not be doing music anymore. But yeah, that second album, girl, those first 5 tracks. Yep. Got me moving. Hey, if you guys have any suggestions, if you're like, oh my God, if you like Quadron, you'll like blank, put it down below. Because for me, if you like Quadron, you'll love Mayor Hawthorne. Do y'all love Mayor Hawthorne? And if you love Mayor Hawthorne, then you love his other group, Tuxedo. Anyways, got some good soul, got some 80s funk. It's really, he's my favorite, like, blue-eyed soul at this moment. Yes, Mayor Hawthorne. Here, I'm gonna write it here for you guys to look it up. Mayor Hawthorne. And then he has a group where it's him and another dude, and that is called Tuxedo. And in Tuxedo, you should listen to Watch the Dance and Do It. If you ever like, What music represents you? I'm gonna say Erica Badu Baduism. And then I'm gonna skip to I'm gonna say Rick James and a lot of his guitar work of the '80s. So I'm gonna give you the Tina Marie, okay? Um, and then I'm gonna jump to Mayor Hawthorne and Tuxedo. Mayor Hawthorne, Everything, and Tuxedo, those two songs, but also the rest of it's pretty good too. Ooh, Mac Ayres. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but anyways, Mac Ayres. I'm into it. I'm always into it. Okay, Jamie Woon. Got it. Oh, Boogie. Hi, girl. Or person, I don't know if you're a girl. Hello. Thanks, guys. I loved it. Okay, now let's move on to the next couple. Nothing really happened. She face planted, and that was it. Now let's get on to Scamming Ass Stan, okay? So first scene we've got is where we picked off last episode. We've got Renata and Lisa talking about scamming Stan. And Lisa would like Renata to put on a wig and pretend to be Jasmine Portillo, which is Lisa's alter ego that she's using to prove that Stan is a cheater and a liar. And so they're having a good yuck hello time about it. They talk about going and hanging out in the hot tub together, and they talk about how Stan really thinks that he's the man and that he really thinks he's got it on and popping. And Lisa was like, I've never seen a 65-year-old man like take a picture on a trampoline in a thong. And Renata's like, oh, it's like Peepaw's gone wild. That's hilarious. Peepaw's gone wild. And it's just kind of like, I know Stan has children, but I feel like Stan is like living his second best life. And I wonder if his children fit into that. If he's just kind of like, they live their own lives, like they're good. Or is he active in their lives? Or do they even live next to him? Or are they mad about him doing this show and dating younger women and giving away all his money? But I'm like, they have to know that he's got some kind of trust or fund for them, so they don't need to be worrying about, their money or their inheritance, right? I mean, because here's the deal. Like, if I had a parent just decide to like live a different life than they've ever left, like, would I be mad in the beginning? Absolutely. But I would probably, and this is really bad of me, I would probably only be mad if I felt like they were spending my inheritance on some bimbo. But as long as my inheritance is like locked and loaded, is like good and never good, it's like he gonna have to give me that inheritance, put it in my name, give my social security where she would never be able to touch it, then I'm good. Like, I don't need, okay, grandpa's going through it. Do I necessarily want her at every family event? No. But is she going to be there? Probably. And like, okay, girl, like, fine. Unless she's like really annoying and combative and like just completely different worldview than me. And it's just like, I don't want that kind of person around my kids. But otherwise, I'm going to let them live their lives. Anyways, I just wonder about Stan and his family and their relationship. So Renata says that she's willing to be Jasmine, but they just need to get some better wigs. So after they leave the hot tub, Lisa says, okay, let's go into the room and cuddle. And so they get up and they go cuddle. Meanwhile, we've got Stan sunbathing on his roof or veranda, which I low-key love. And in his like, not thong, but in his like tighty whities, but they aren't white, with socks on. And then he's like, she's just, Lisa's not returning any of my calls. She's just out there in another world, it seems like. So he's a little annoyed that Lisa isn't around. And Stan then talks to us about his regimen, right? He's like, I have a regimen. I get up, I go to the gym, and it's just like his old man gym club. And then I look at the stock market, and he pulls out the newspaper. And I said, aw. That's how I learned to read the stock market. Like in like first semester economics, we had to pull out the newspaper because there was no internet. I mean, well, there was internet, but it was like not a reliable source, and it was only in the library and nobody had it in their pocket because there were no smartphones. No, in fact, no one had a cell phone when I was in high school. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was in college. And even then, like I didn't it was like to hang up, you push send. Or no, to make the let me tell you how confused I was. My parents had a cell phone. I feel like they never ever used it, but I would look at it and I would be like, "Oh my god, I would love to use this." But then I tried to like figure it out and I realized I didn't know how to send a call because back then it only had end and send. And I was like, "Well, I don't want to send." So it's like you had to dial the number and then press send in order to like dial it, but I grew up with like boop 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 hello. You know what I'm saying? Like I grew up with a dial tone, so I didn't know I didn't know how to use their phone. So when I got to college, my freshman year of college, I had a phone. It wasn't a Nokia. It started with a Q, but it had like a round top. It was flat, and it was like this big. Wait, let me see. Maybe it was as big as this, and it was like round, and then like got a little skinny. It was like square down here. And like it didn't have nothing. It was just boop boop boop. No screen, nothing. So I'm just like, this man took out a newspaper. Anyways, and then he's like looking at stock market, and then he's like, then it's dinner time. And I said, man, you spend all that time on the stock market, and then he talks about what his dinner is. His dinner is a charcuterie board. Okay, it's cold cuts, cheese, and grapes and wine. Yummy. And I said, your tongue must die when you get a certain age. Your tongue must just like, listen, I love a good charcuterie board. I really do. But am I going to eat it every night for dinner? No, it had me backed up, all them cured meats and cheeses. No, absolutely not. Oh my God, Jasmine had singular and ran my bill up to $1,000 one time within damn daytime minutes. I can't even imagine it. I can't. Oh, Qualcomm. Yes. Let me look that up. Qualcomm phone. Let me look it up. What does that look like? Yes, this was exactly it. I did have a screen, I guess. Oh, girl. This was literally it. And I remember that, like, I mean, let me take a screenshot of it. I remember that my mom and I kind of shared it or something. I don't know. But one day it was ringing and it was in my mom's room. And I was like, oh my God, that's for me. Like, no one's calling her. And then I picked it up and it was this guy who I went to high school with and I still talk to on and off to this day. And he was like mildly inebriated. And he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, you just called my mom's cell phone. Oh my God. I was like, don't call me this late. He's like, get your own phone. I was like, what? This is the year 2000. Who has their own phone? Could you guys even believe it? This is what it looked like. Yes. I was so confused in the beginning on how, like, what to do. Like, how do you put the number in and then what? My first cell phone. Okay. Anyways, thank you for that trip down memory lane. I am so happy. Okay. So Stan is like just a dirtbag. I went on a tangent about what he does all day. Okay. Then we find out that afterwards he then goes to sleep, but then he has night terrors fighting aliens. And I felt really bad for him. He doesn't sleep in the same bed with her because of the night terrors. Like that means that his nightmares are so strong that he's like fighting. And I'm like, at 65, does he sleep well? Like that sucks. He's fighting aliens at night in his sleep? Lord. And to me, it's like Stan is the least amount of fighting individual. Like, listen, if there is a zombie apocalypse or an alien takeover, Stan is the first one who's gonna die. He didn't. What does he do? What does he offer? How to be a curmudgeon, 1-on-1. How to release your inner sexual deviant at age 65. Not sexual deviant, but like, kinks. Anyways, so the next day he goes to pick up Lisa and she is not having it. Lisa is annoyed with him. He's like, hey, baby. Hey, baby. And she's just like, F. Like, listen, let me take this down so you guys can see. Hey, baby, give me a hug. And she's like, bleep. She just cusses. She just cusses. And then they go to give a hug. And I guess he must have snagged her earring. And he's like, all right. And she's like, that's my earring. That's my earring. And they pull apart. And she's like, ow, that's my earring. And he's like, sorry. And then he takes her to a surprise like hangout date. And they get there and it turns out that it is rock climbing. So they both get into the rock climbing harnesses. And so I guess producers ask him if he's been rock climbing before. And he says, I have been rock climbing before with somebody else. And then they're like, he's like, yeah, but I don't know who it is. I don't remember their name, but I know I went to New York City with her. And then laughs. Look at this big smile on his face. He went rock climbing with someone before, doesn't remember her name, even though he went to New York City with her. That's what I tell you, that Stan is from that boomer misogynistic like era where he fully believes that like he's like being a player and a man because he doesn't remember. He's like so rich and got it and like that he went out with a woman who he went rock climbing with and to New York City with, and he thinks it's cool to pretend like he doesn't remember what her name is because that's how much of a like player he is. And it's the same reason why him and Lisa get into arguments, because as much as Lisa's like, yeah, I'll whip you and I'll put you in a straitjacket and peg you, but you're still going to treat me like a person. And I'm not going to pretend like everything is okay because I'm not like some paid for hire girl. And if that's what I'm going to be, then you need to be giving me money every day. It's like he just wants to like run this game on her and get her to give him something. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that you went after somebody who's in prison and who didn't have little to anything so that you could like put this idea out to her and try to make her feel bad whenever she doesn't give you what it is that you want. And if you want the things that you want from her, then you need to pay up every day, all day. Hey, baby. Oh my God. Stan is thick. What does thick stand for? Are you mean something? Because to me, thick is like Megan Thee Stallion thick. Is Stan thick? I don't understand what we're talking about. You want to, you're okay. This individual is thick. This is thick. Oh, are we talking about this picture right here where we could see his legs? Anyways, so then he starts to rock climb and he's really trying to get, or at least the cameras are trying to really show that the people who are working there helping him like do not care and are not interested in whatever silly conversation these two are having. So Stan starts to climb and he's like, I like to work out because you can't get, sit around and get fat all day. But then he gets up there and like, he can't continue getting up. Like he like doesn't get all the way up. And so then Lisa's like, don't worry, I'm coming up. So then Lisa goes and climbs up and she reaches all the way to the top and he's cheering her on. And he's like, babe, you got to keep doing this. Your butt looks great. You got to keep doing this so your butt stays looking great. Ha, 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 ha. Again, the people who work there do not care. And so she goes up and then she comes down to meet him where he's at. And this is what this man looks like. Okay. Let's go back to this one. This is what he looks like. So she comes down to him. He's like laying up against the wall, trying to like hold on while this poor man down below is like anchoring him. And so he he's then dangling there. And she's like, is there something you want to get off your chest? Something I need to know? And he's like, no. Well, I did go out to dinner with Tina. And she's like, oh, okay. You went out to dinner with Tina. Is that it? And he's like, well, I went out because you weren't answering your phone. She's like, oh, okay. So because I didn't answer my phone, you went out to dinner with your ex-girlfriend. Great, great. Anything else? And she's like, no, there's nothing. Nothing I can think of. And she's like, do you know somebody by the name of Jasmine Portillo? And then this is his face. And she's like, you're a liar, Stan. You're a liar because I'm Jasmine. And this is his face. I mean, y'all, this man, there is a certain gentleman. You know what's interesting? It's actually I'm actually very grateful that Black men don't have hair that is straight, because then this desire to cover up your bald spot with a comb over is not plaguing my community. Now there are other things like the benying or whatever it is where you just like spray your hair on and you dye your beard and you do all kinds of madness, but like a comb over, to me, just cut your hair. Just cut your hair off. Like, just, what do they do? What do you do? You can't get hair implants. That's embarrassing too. But you don't want to be bald. I mean, is there something wrong with just this like, why don't we just bring this back? Just bring it where it's just this and it's bald up here. I'm okay with that. I seeing an older man with like a piece of hair just like hanging up is just crazy to me. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what the solve is. I don't know how to help them. I don't know what we can do for men with straight hair of a certain age who won't just let the bald happen and just let this, like, what do we do for them? What is the solve? There has to be one. We need to figure it out. We as a community need to come together to help men like Stan around the world get their hair together. Is it that they just need a stronger hold? Like, does Stan just need, like, because, like, here's the truth. We had a president for 4 years walking around looking crazy with a comb over. And that's how I'm like, this man is a billionaire and he couldn't figure it out. But I'm like, is there not somebody in the industry, like in the white man hair club for men community, that could provide some pomade? So at the very least, the shit doesn't go flapping in the wind. Like, at the very least, it should just be able to stay still. Like, is there not a pomade or a hairspray? Do we need to give them got-to-be glue so that at least it's down? Because I don't care if it looks slick. The flying of the hair, the like in the wind movement. Oh my God. Oh, yes, Venus. I want to figure it out. I want to figure it out. We got to get something for them. They need a product. They need a product to help it stay where it needs to be. If you want to comb over, that's fine. I mean, the fact is that he's let this side of his hair just grow so long to where he just combs over. And you would think that does he need to sleep with if he slept with a like do-rag on his head or some kind of like something that kept it down, then maybe when he got up and added a little product to it, it would stay where it was supposed to be. I don't know. Okay. So he caught in a lie, and now we're going to move on. Next couple, let's just talk about Brittany and Marcelino. So Brittany and the baby, what's his name? What's his name? Quinn. It's a long name. It's a long Italian name. What's this boy's name? What's this baby's name? What's this baby name? What's this baby's name? Giovanni. Woo, girl. Okay. I couldn't remember it. Giovanni. Oh, Lord have mercy. So Giovanni and Marcelino go to the park, and they have this produced scene where he's like, "Hey, bud, let's keep a secret between you and me. Grandpa Gio is gonna come to the house so that me and your mom could have some hangout time. Yay! Keep it from the kids." And so, or not keep it from the kids, keep it from your mom. Okay, so they talk to Grandpa. Grandpa agrees to come down or whatnot. And I don't know what Grandpa's name is. I said Grandpa Gio, but that's not correct. I am a woman who has gradually losing her hair over the past 10 years. It's devastating apparent. Please be more sensitive to the pain. I'm losing my hair as well. And I talk about the fact that I'm losing my hair all the time. I wasn't talking. Okay, I'm not even going to go into it. I definitely was just talking about the style of a comb over. Let me see. So Grandpa Gil, that's what it is. Thank you, Midwife Crystal. So Grandpa Gil is gonna come and hang out at the house, and I thought Grandpa Gil lived in Alaska. So it seems kind of crazy that Marcelino's just like calling up Grandpa Gil, and he's like, "Come on down and help me so I could have some time with Brittany alone." I'm like, are you asking this man to get on a flight to Nevada from Alaska for you? What? That is weird. But anyways, it's all a part of the scene. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, Connie. So I was agreeing with this too in D&D, and I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if I was taking it too far. But when he said, "Let's keep it a secret for mom," I was like, oof, I wanted him to, and it's just semantics. It really is. Because if he had said, "We're going to surprise mom with Grandpa Gil coming, so we can't tell mom about her surprise, okay? Because it's a surprise, and she's going to be so excited if Grandpa Gil comes." So I just was like, that was my only thing. It's like telling him to keep a secret is different than saying a surprise. But that's just me using semantics, and like we all know what he meant. And so, but in general, like I would be very careful with that language. I'm not saying Marcelino was wrong. I'm not coming for him at all. I'm just saying in that moment when he said secret from mama, that was like a red flag. So I do agree with you. I do agree with you. Thanks, Jasmine. Even Grandpa Gil calls Marcelino Mars. It drives me crazy. That's not his name. It's not even a name. Well, if it's a name, if they say it's a name, if he answers to it, it's a name. Anyways, so the Gio comes home and his mom, "We have a surprise for you." And we all look at Gio like, dang, it wasn't even 5 minutes. And Brittany's like, "You expected a 6-year-old to hold a secret?" And so so that was a cute little moment. So then basically Brittany is sitting there and she's like, "What's going on?" And then Marcelino's like, "I invited Gil to come down here so that you and I can have some time alone. I'm trying to help you through a tough situation." And she's just like, "I understand your sentiment, Mars, but like inviting my dad up here is a lot. I'm already going through a lot. I don't want to think about it. I'm going in a mild depression. And now I have to like do extra chores in order to prepare for my dad being here." And on the surface, that kind of sounds lazy. However, I appreciate the fact that Brittany is like, "My dad is coming. Okay, now I need to like clean a little bit more." Like, I appreciate the fact that she's going to clean her house and prepare her house for her father coming. And the fact that she doesn't feel like having company and having to deal with it and smile through it and all that stuff, and that Mars is making extra work for her. I 100% get where she's coming from. I felt her in that moment. I was like, dang, now I got to do all this stuff. Because as somebody who's preparing to leave the country, you have no idea how much I did today. I went to the airport today to check in because my flight is very early in the morning, and I did not want to get there very early in the morning and have them tell me that there's going to be some shenanigans with like COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? You got to show your vaccination. You got to show all this stuff. And it's like, I get it and it's fine, but my app wasn't taking up the information, wasn't picking up what I was putting down, wasn't accepting my uploaded documents. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going to have a problem at 4 a.m. Like, absolutely not. So I went to the airport today. I went to Old Navy. I got my eyebrows waxed. Then I went to the airport. Then I went and picked up prescription medication. Like, she was like moving about the cabin today. So I understand the like stress of like having to get something done because people are, you're moving and shaking and people are coming around. Anyways, next scene we have is her looking at an email, and then Marcelino walks up and her quickly slamming down the computer, and he's like, you okay? And she's like, yep, I'm fine. And then she like has this like mysterious, I got an email from somebody, and I didn't even tell my husband about it. There's only one person that I can talk to about this, so I'm gonna go figure it out. And I thought it was Amanda. I didn't know who it was, girl, but it was her mother. And so she gets to her mother's house, and her mother has been living with one of Brittany's friends as basically a live-in maid and dog walker, which I ain't mad at it. Cindy didn't stay up in Alaska in the treatment center. And I hope that she's doing better. But as much as Cindy was on like medication and prescription medication, specifically opioids as an addiction, like, I think it's unfortunate that she didn't stay in the treatment center. But Brittany says that, she's not a fool, and she's not like thinking that everything is okay, and that her mom isn't like, kind of maybe substituting alcohol or something else for like whatever it is that ails her. But she's like, at least she's there and she's doing better and she's in a safe space. So she's happy about it. And so I did think that Cindy looked good. Like, I was like, okay, she's not super skinny, but she's not very large. She's like in the middle of where where we saw her the last time. I do love her red glasses, a red frame. I did love the red in her hair. Okay, I was like, okay, I was feeling this. And so Brittany's like, Mom, I gotta talk to you. I got this email. And so then she produces the email, and it's like, Brittany, I just want to meet you from Bill or William. And then we end up finding out that William is her biological father. And so this is, Cindy's reaction. Basically, Cindy doesn't want Brittany meeting up with her biological dad because she says that her biological dad is not a good person and it was a bad marriage, and that Cindy took her daughter out of that situation in order, for it to be good, and she ended up getting with Gil. And I'm like, but Cindy, you was on drugs and you was an alcoholic too. So like, what do you mean your first husband wasn't good? Like, you weren't good for Brittany. Brittany, like, under your watch, Brittany was like sex trafficked. So I'm confused why you don't want a grown ass 3 kids, really 5, a grown woman who has done the work, gotten out of prison, gotten married, had 2 kids with a good man, and is doing well for herself, to kind of meet her biological father because you say that you're worried about your grandchildren. And I'm like, Mama, on your watch, Brittany was sex trafficked by a grown man and had 2 kids, was raped numerous times and had 2 kids on your watch. But you don't want her to, as an adult with a clear head, meet her biological father, whom you haven't spoken to or seen in years? What do you know about William? Like, maybe he is recovered or, sober X amount of years, you know what I'm saying? And like is now ready to meet his biological daughter that he didn't take care of. Sydney is making it very personal. And Brittany did say that. Brittany said that she's in a place where she's able to like discern things more so than her mother's able to do so. And Cindy's like, well, I don't want her around him because He's not a good guy, and like I'm worried about my grandkids. And I'm like, okay, listen, I love Cindy, but I'm like, you're not the best example to be around your grandkids either, ma'am. Tony says, yeah, I was very disappointed that Cindy put everything off on the father. She didn't take any responsibility for anything that happened. Karen says, I'm not buying Brittany's story about her dad. She got William tattooed on her arm. So unless she dated someone before jail with the name she met, she says she doesn't really know him and that Gil is her dad. But like, listen, I don't know. People get tattoos of folks' names on them. People get tattoos in general that don't mean much to them. That like, they just are like, this is this person who made me, so I'm gonna put their name on my arm. So like, I don't know. Vicky Vale says she looks good. Sobriety is baby steps. As someone who fought alcoholism entire year, constantly looking for soothing techniques, and it's easier to hit the bottle or pop a pill to cope. Yeah, I agree. It is. So like, but I'm like, it looks like a good situation. We don't know where she's at right now in the sobriety. It makes me sad that she didn't finish out the program. Like, it's one thing to finish out the program and then be like, I'm never going back, or like, that's not for me, but like, finish it out. I don't know. That's just me, but I don't know what it's like to be in those programs. So I don't know if it was a bad situation. Like, I don't know. So I'm not too much judging her, but she looks good. And as long as Brittany can be with her and she's got like a stable living situation, I think that's what's important to say. I'm going to say this. Brittany got lucky finding a man who clicked with her and provided for her. It's really just luck. I feel there are a lot of people out there who are just lucky in love, and it is not me. Cindy is petty and was meddling, overbearing when they went to visit the stepdad. Oh, she was. But I also think with the stepdad, I think these two met under like maybe like drug or alcoholic situations, right? And that's what bonded them together, and they had a tumultuous relationship. And I think maybe Gil wanted to get sober and wanted to do better, but Cindy didn't, and then they split. And I think part of that was when she tried to like blow herself up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Cindy just was really down the rabbit hole because of her terrible upbringing. Cindy's situation is a pathology, because the mother was just so, remember that mother? Cindy's mother was so detached. And again, it's that generation thing of like, well, if you didn't want my friends to rape you, then you shouldn't have been walking around in your pajamas at 12. It's like that kind of like thing. It's like, no, mommy, you let a predator into our home and didn't protect me. Well, you should have told me. Like, what? So yeah. It's for Brittany to make the decision. She has a good head on her shoulder. I agree. How did dad get her contact details? I imagine that Brittany has some kind of management agency or some way to contact her. And so maybe she like reached out to the management agency, and maybe the email isn't directly from him. Maybe it's forwarded. Who knows? Or if he knows her last name, it just might be Brittany, Contreras@gmail.com. You never know. See him outside of the home, maybe with Mars at a different table at a restaurant. Yeah. He's watched the show and wants money. Oh, yeah. But I mean, you got to find out. You got to go and find out. That's what I was thinking too. Remember her grandma? God, I hope her dad is a good man. How much worse can it be? Yeah. It's natural for her to worry. Her backstory aside, Cindy to go on the run had to be pretty bad. No reason to even discuss bringing him into the home. No reason to introduce him to the kids until they know him. I agree with you. Y'all think we're getting Brittany and Marcelino's next storyline? Who knows? Who knows, Angie? Good. That's a good one. That's a good thought. Oh, really? She should have definitely stayed in the program, but in a lot of those programs, you can get pills and booze easier on the inside than outside. Dang. It's the same thing with Christiana in Dubuque. She went back on it when she was in her halfway house. Cindy was still crushing on her stepdad. I think that Cindy is sad that she lost Gil. And I think that she's also sad that Gil is doing better and that she wasn't able to, like, I don't know. I kind of see addiction as like someone being in a woods And like sometimes the wood is sparse or the forest is sparse. Sometimes it's really thick. And I think there are some people who can see their way out of it and they really try, or they brush through thickets with a machete and try to get out. And I think at the time Cindy was just like, it's too much work to get out, like I'm fine. And I think now that he's out, she probably did love him, and she probably sees like his new wife and his new life and everything, and she's just like left in the dust. So regardless of if like however their relationship ended, I think she still loved him and she still like wants him to want her. And is probably sad about it. Like, that sucks. I mean, it's got to be a really one bad relationship that you had to run away from, and then you get into another relationship and y'all are just so crazy with each other, and now that person has moved on and doing better, and you wish you could have been there with them. But like, that's not how it works. Like, everybody has to work on their own issues and get through it. Usually there's a certain amount of like on their ownness that they have to go through it. So anyways, I feel bad for Cindy, and I always wish the best for her. You guys know so much about addiction and recovery program. I feel so naive. I don't know anything about it, but I can only speculate and guess. And I have tried to be better about addiction in my life because it's something that I don't quite understand. I understand like addiction to a certain extent, but I'm trying to get better about it. So I'm always open to hearing the information. I'm always very much open to it because I think it's like a demon, right? It's like a demon that like if people could just put down the bottle, lay down the pipe, do whatever, and just walk away from it, they would. And so for me, the choice is to never do it in the beginning. But sometimes, and I think especially with the opioid pill situation, if a doctor is prescribing you something, like how do you get out of that? And even with like crack, like they didn't have social media back then. So people are like doing crack because it's the next party drug and it gets you super high. Like, how were they to know that the outcome would be what it was? Like, even heroin addicts, like normal people weren't really heroin addicts like in the 40s. It was all musicians and artists and big city stuff. Now people are heroin addicts in Dubuque, Iowa. People are doing meth in like the middle of Kentucky. Like, drugs now are so much more accessible and so much more like, it's just different. And I feel for those who like experiment before there's like a lot of information out there and now they're stuck on it. But I'm also somebody that can see that and not make that same choice. Like, I would never, like when meth first hit my suburb, I was like, no. I was like a teenager. I was like, whatever. So I was never going to do it. But I knew people who were full-blown meth heads at like 14. And I'm like, whoa, who's watching you? Where are your parents? Like, but there's no way I would have known that meth was as addicting as it was because like there's weed, right? Everybody's smoking weed and you think that's fine. And then you move on to meth and like, how are you to know that it's going to get you there? Because there are different things you can take. Like there's speed, there's angel dust, there's all this stuff that's out. And people don't necessarily get addicted to it. You know, who's to tell what's who's to tell what is really addictive and what is the person and their personality? You don't know that until like a few years into it. So Vicky says, I was a blazing alcoholic and was looking down on a hard drug career. You took me through my sobriety and path to realize that pain is behind every drink and every pill or needle pipe. Yeah, it really is. I went through a reoccurring pregnancy loss and the doctors were throwing pills at me. I decided to take myself off for this reason. My alcoholic husband says I can stop drinking anytime. And I'm like, is that so? Well, let's see then. And I also think that there's levels to alcoholism too. Like there are fully functioning alcoholics. Like money's intact, futures are intact, bills are paid, family is good. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to be an alcoholic in any place. Like I feel like a lot of people are alcoholics. I feel like a lot of people are. And even then for me, like now that I'm able to drink a little bit, I'm like, you know, I'm like, in the middle of the day, I'm like, just like a glass of wine. You know what I'm saying? And I have to like check myself too and be like, okay, you're not going to drink tonight. Like an active thing because it's so easily accessible. And like, even when I'm by myself, like I'm like, dee 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 dee, feeling good. You know what I'm saying? So like, I can very much get into it. Girl, we went on a tangent. Can we just get out of, how did we get here? Let's get back on on a course. Ooh, an hour and 15 minutes and we're not even, okay, we're getting back on course. It was great. It was a great chat. Let's get back on course. Anyways, so, that's it. Let's move on. Brittany and Rey. Okay. So in this episode of Brittany being doing the most, trying to get her screen time, girl, like, I mean, if we wanted to give Brittany and Marcelino an Academy Award, like Rey and Brittany need like tomatoes thrown at them. They are like on the Rotten Tomatoes, I'm not a good actor tip. Because girl, Brittany gets in a car and she's like, if he's over there doing something that I don't like, then he can just go on ahead and move all his stuff out. So she's very upset because she wasn't invited. So that obviously means that something is going on. And because he's sharing his location and hasn't answered the phone, she's going to go over there. And if anything is happening that she doesn't approve of or jeopardizes his freedom, we're done. He can get his bleep and he can get the bleep out tonight. Okay, girl. Then she gets to his house and she gets to the cousin's house, Bink, and she barges in past Rey, who randomly answers the door, girl. Like, how come Bink didn't answer his own door? Because this is all set up and it's all produced. So she walks back up in the house and she's like, where the hoes at? And Rey is like, there are no hoes. What are you talking about? She's like, where's the party? And he's like, this is the party. And she's like, this is it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm just like, Brittany, no greeting, nothing. You don't say, hi, my name is Brittany. I just wanted to come in and check on you. Sorry for barging in like this. Look Rey up and down and then go over and shake hands, you know, and be cordial to the people whose house you barged into. Nope, she doesn't do that. And then so she has all this stuff to say about he shouldn't be doing yada, 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 whoop-de, whoop-de, whoop. Rey's like, we're just chilling, having a couple of drinks, a cigar, playing some dominoes. And I'm just like, oh, 3-person domino? That sounds so much fun. And so then she asks the one man with the hat on, she's like, are you a felon? And then the guy's like, yes, I am. And she's like, no offense, but you know, you can't even be hanging around with felons. And I want you to come home right now. That's what I think you should do. Blah, blah, blah. You don't even know what's going on. And then we meet Blink. And I said, okay, sir, with a full beard. Okay. Hello. Hi, friend. So then he's like, and then Brittany had the audacity to run up in my house, you know, demanding things and whatever. I just took pictures of him. I said, are you a felon as well, sir? Okay. He has kind eyes. Do we not agree? Okay. Anyways, that's it for Bink. He's cute. And then so then we've got a scene where Brittany's like, you need to come with me. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to come. And then she's like, well, okay, whatever. So she gets in the car and she goes. And then it feels like 30 minutes later, he hops in the car and goes home. And so then she's just sitting on the couch in a satin robe waiting for him. And then she's like, oh, you made it home and you decided to come home. And they have an argument and it's all fake. And she throws some pillows and sheets at him. And then she goes up in the room. Listen, Brittany got a little body, okay? I'm just like, she got big butt. She got big boobs. She got a little cute little body. Okay. So then the next day, after sleeping on the couch, he decides to make her some brekkie fast in bed. So she's sitting up in bed, full face, girl, lashes, full on, contour, highlight, all the goods. Like, I'm just waking up for the day in her little queen bed. They must sleep real snug together. This bed is tiny, okay? It is a small bed for these two grown people. So he comes in and brings her a rose and apologizes for last night. And then she actually apologizes and says, I did overreact. And that's how I know it was fake for sure, because they don't never be apologizing when they be dead wrong. She's like, I did understand, but we need to have trust. And I just need you to always pick up your phone. And so he's like, you're right, I always pick up my phone. So then they have a different confessional where she's wearing a different outfit, and she's like, I don't do anything to control him, I just am trying to look out for him. And she's like, oh, you're not he's like, you're not trying to control me. And she's like, no. And he's like, all right. And I'm like, there's another scene between Brittany and Rey. Hi. Raven says, when my husband and I got together, I told him that he needed his friends and I needed mine. We both had lives before each other. I agree. But there are some people who that doesn't work for. So I think it really just depends. I think that that's what I would need to a certain extent, because honestly, like, I don't really be with my friends all that much. Like, I don't have friends that live close. My friends are all like an excursion to get to. And I say all of my friends, like, I have a friend that I work with and I see her all the time, but it's because I work with her. Like, I don't ever go to her house to like chill. She got a whole family. You know what I'm saying? So, mhm. I'm so glad they didn't match her energy, and I could see the situation for what it was. Bink totally could have went off for barging into his house. Oh yeah, definitely. And she was like, "Your cousin must think I'm psycho," and he's like, "No, he just thinks you really care about me." And I'm just like, "Yeah," because he understands this is a setup scene. But like, it is true. It's not like she was rude for barging in his house. But I feel like what happened is like in between the takes, she was like, "Hi, I'm Brittany. So nice to meet you. Hello." Like, I really don't think it's into Brittany to like be that crazy. So as much as it was like crazy that she had the audacity to barge up in the house, like, I feel like they're just watching the scene happen because they understand it's fake and that they're being recorded. And I think she was probably very warm and lovely to them in the end. So I wasn't buying it, and I feel like it wasn't real. But I think to a certain extent she is clingy and needy and like a lot. Okay, so the coup d'etat, okay? The cherry on the top of our weird prison cake. Speaking of weird prison cakes, Sass Scales put out a video where she made prison nachos or something. I didn't finish watching the whole video, but she kept saying, my sources tell me. Like, she figured out, like, I don't know if she's actually going to do the series, but she's doing a series where she makes prison food, and I would love if she made a prison cake. Check out Sass Scales. That's SASSCALES. She's here on YouTube. She does reviews in a very funny manner. Okay. Next couple that we're going to talk about is Sean and what's her name? Sarah. So Sean is excited because Sarah is finally coming over to hang out with his old punk A. And so he's cleaning up his house and he's getting everything ready for Sarah to arrive. Sarah gets there. She gets dropped off in her Uber XL girl. And he's so happy that she's going to be there. And he's like really hoping that she's going to move in with him and they're going to start their lives together. And she gets into the house and he's got this whole indoor picnic laid out for her. And she thinks it's really sweet. And then he's got corn in the basket because he wanted to remind her of the time when they almost had sex in the cornfield, or they at least talked about it, girl, because they didn't almost do anything that first time. She was too nervous. Then she says it's really sweet. He puts out like a charcuterie board, like a cheap one, and which is not really a charcuterie board. It's just mainly cold cuts and cheese and crackers. And then immediately he's like, let's go upstairs. I just want to talk to Destiny. Like, I'm talking to Destiny and talk to Sarah, and Sarah's better than Destiny. And so they go up the stairs, and then they have their Life After Lockup obligatory sex scene where she gets down to her skivvies, and then they get into the bed. He takes off his shirt, and it's like, ugh. Ugh. Before that, look at his face. Oh my God, look at his face. Anyways, he's like, well, what did your mom think about you coming over here? And Sarah's like, we thought about it. My mother didn't want me to do it, but I came over here anyway. We're not talking right now. So anyways, they go upstairs to do the obligatory scene, and they're kissing, and we're all like, whoa, whoa. And then she's like, do you have a condom? And then he pulls out what looks to be a Magnum package. Now, it wasn't the actual gold foil, but it was a box. And I was like, I didn't need to know that. Now, tell me, did you guys see the Magnum box? Did I make that up? Did I make that up? Oh, sorry. Let me mute it because you guys don't like. She's pregnant. Karen, they're married and she's pregnant is the rumor. Oh God. Oh, well, I'm up here talking about her man, talking about her husband. So anyways, I guess it was good. And she's like, Sean is really good at sex. And here's the truth. Destiny said the same thing too. Okay, we just got to go on ahead and give it to man. We got to give it to him because Destiny said the same exact thing too. And maybe that's what kept Kelly coming around for 6 kids. I really want to know why he left Kelly. He left all of his kids, and maybe it's just the way production is setting it up, but Sean is allowing production to portray him as a man who was with someone who I'm assuming on and off for 10 years, maybe more. And he has completely, it feels like he's completely abandoned his children because he's upped and moved to Ohio. Like, you don't have 6 kids with somebody and then up and move to Ohio, unless you're moving to Ohio to make millions of dollars, because that move makes sense financially for your family. His eldest daughter is 16. He's got 6 kids. The youngest is a toddler, right? The youngest is like 5. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So the youngest, I mean, I don't think they're all a year apart, but my God, let's do the real math on this. Let's do the real math on this. He left Kelly because he was sick of being a full-time dad. He got Kelly when she was 16 and he was grown and he raised Kelly. Really? 20 plus years with Kelly. He doesn't want the responsibility, just the fun. That is, you mean 15 years too many, right? Not 15 kids. Joseph, I forgot you were here. Foolish by Ashanti is Kelly's theme song, running back and having 6 kids with this man. Oh, I didn't realize that she was a teenager. I don't know how old Kelly is. But he has a type, and I feel like Destiny, Kelly, and Sarah kind of meet that criteria. They're like both short, tiny, like white appearing women. Like, I don't know if Kelly is like half Latina or Latina and is just like kind of white looking, but like he has a definite type, and I think they all kind of not look the same, but they have the same like pedigree, so to speak. Wow, that's crazy. He was 26 and she was 16 when they. No! Vicky! No! I want to fight him so much. I would like to fight him. I would like to fight him. I would like to I would like to like confront him and tell him to put his hands up. Wow. Why did Kelly not take care of her own birth control issues? Understand maybe the first two because of her age. Well, here's the deal. Like, women are socialized to believe in that fairy tale. Like, I could definitely see me having a guy's bunch because like at some point you're just like, well, you can't leave me. I have this kid. He's like, we're having sex and he knows how babies are made. Like, she just thought that he would take it, and he also can afford it, right? He does pretty well financially. Like, he makes more than me. Sean, I know Sean makes more than me. Like, Sean must make $100,000. Like, whenever I find out that guy is a mechanic, I'm like, or any kind of like, um, machinist, like not machinist, what's the word? Maintenance or anything like that. Like, you can easily make, if you have the right certificates, you can easily make like $32 an hour. And if you choose to work overtime or if you become a manager, depending on where you're working at, like the guys that work at like Les Schwab and like not maybe Jiffy Lube, I'm not sure, but they make a pretty decent living. Like, I know some guys who like work maintenance and are making like $90,000. Like, that's good. That's crazy. I didn't know that at all. So yeah, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, definitely, it is sucio behavior. It is. That's crazy. Anyways, I didn't know that. So let's get back on track. So, oh my god, an hour and 30 minutes. This is the longest I've ever been on live accidentally. I got things to do. Okay. So let's get back to it. So afterwards, it's pretty good. And he's like, how good was it? And she was just like, oh, it was good. And then he's like, I have something to tell you. I have 6 kids. And she's like, what? Why would you lie about that? And he's like, I didn't think it was a good thing to do. And she's like, you got mad at me for hiding 1 kid and you got 6 whole children? And he's like, well, I mean, I just didn't think it was the right time to have this conversation. Where are you getting mad at me? What was I supposed to do? And she's like, you were supposed to tell the truth. Why is that so hard for you? And he's like, well, because I didn't think it was the right thing to do because I wanted to keep some things, hidden or whatever. And then she's like, just let it all out. What else is there? What else is there? And then he's like, I was with this girl named Destiny. I was engaged with an inmate before. And she's like, oh my God. So I guess my mom was right. And she's just like, so what was I? And he's just like, he's like, well, I like you too. And then she's like trying to get the timeline together. And she's like, tell the truth. And so then he's like, yeah, I wouldn't know. Like, I was talking to her like 6 months ago. And she's like, that's when we were talking. Oh, so that's where you went. That's why you disappeared for 2 months, because you were engaged with another woman. And now you're here with me talking about you want to be with me. And he's like, it didn't work out with her. So like, what does it have to do with you? And she's like, it has a lot to do with me. If she was an inmate as well. And he's like, well, why were you trying to get a pen pal? And she's like, because I was bored. That's why. That's why I did the pen pal, because I was bored. But you just go after girls who are inmates. And he's like, no. What did you want me to do? When he said, what did you want me to do? And she said, I asked you to tell me the truth and you didn't. And he's like, well, what did you want me to say? And she's like, the truth. And he's like, well, they're just white lies. And she's like, they're not white lies. White lies are small lies. Like, this is a huge deal. And then he's like, no, it's not. Look at his face. Like, completely gaslighting her, completely trying to truly justify his terrible behavior by telling her that all of the lies that he told are not big deals. Lying about your age, lying about how many kids you have, lying about the fact that the reason why you dropped off the face of the planet for 2 months is because you had a whole other fiance who happened to be a convict as well. And the truth is the only reason he started talking to Sarah immediately when Destiny got weird. I wouldn't even be surprised because it's only 2 months. Like, so you mean that things went downhill for Destiny in 2 months? No. I think that he was messing around, or Destiny was out on the streets with him for longer than 2 months. So as soon as things got weird with Destiny, he like split and started, not split, but he like emotionally started with Sarah. That's crazy. Oh my God. A very, very smackable face. A very, very smackable face. Which is why I'm like, does this man not know that he is the villain? If he's 46, he had to have had the oldest kid 20 years ago. So the oldest daughter would be 20, right? No, the oldest daughter is only like 16 or 17. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Such an embarrassing dad. You thought she was 21, the one that they took to the thrift store? No. The one that they took to the thrift store? She was still in high school. Oh, they have a son? Oh. Okay. How do y'all know all this? How do you all know all this? That's so funny. That's crazy. What an embarrassing dad for sure. That was right. We nosy. I don't know any of this stuff. Wow. Queen Kelly was giving interviews last season. Oh, I missed that. I missed that 100%. Is that when she said she was 16 when she had her first kid? Yo, that's bananas. The one at the thrift store is a middle child. The oldest is 21 in the military. Ah, okay. They have boys also, and that one that went to the thrift store is the only one who would film. That makes sense. Oh my God. The youngest is about 7 to 9. Okay. But still, he still abandoned them. That 9-year-old, your dad ups and moves to Ohio to be with a convict? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, you guys, I gotta go. I'm traveling tomorrow. I still want to clean out my car, even though it's like dark outside. I'm taking my little flashlight. I turn all the lights in the car and I'm gonna clean it out. Because I just want to, when you like gone for a long time and you come home, like I want to come home to like a clean situation. So I'm gonna clean. Spend the next hour and a half cleaning. I'll try to get in bed by 9 so I can get up. I already have my outfit picked. It's gonna be super cute. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with my hair. Okay. Thank you guys. I can't tell you where I'm gonna be for 90 Day Fiance tomorrow, but I will do my best. I land at 5 p.m. So I don't know what time I'm gonna get to my hotel. But girl, I'm just nervous to be driving in a country where the signs are not in English. So hopefully my GPS doesn't let me down. And then so we'll do alive tomorrow. I'm going to take my lights with me so I don't have any issues with lighting. And then, yeah, let me finish packing. I love you guys too. Connie, I'm coming up to see you. That's why we were talking about Canadians earlier. I'm in Montreal. I'm not coming to see you, but I'm coming to Montreal. I'm going to Montreal. So you're welcome, Clementine. You guys have a fantastic evening. I got to remember to go through and see when the video starts. I think it started at like 21 or something. All right. Thanks, Joseph. All right, you guys, thanks for having this long conversation with me about these crazy people. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for the well wishes. I will see you on Sunday, hopefully, for 90 Day Fiancé the other way. It's been really good. So if you haven't checked it out, you should do so. Discovery Plus. Get on it if you can. And yeah, you guys have a fantastic evening. And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Did anyone do a super chat that I'm not missing? Nope, 2, wasn't anything? Nope, great. All right, bye guys.